It takes much more than a lead. Show me the wood, show me the wood below. It's only wood, it's only wood below. Well, it's a terrible pain, trying to find a good rain. I awaken in twilight and mist, and the jokes in my mind, oh, they rarely do find the lustful audience or interest. If there was one red thread, but if it instead led to a hand that was closing the fist, there are jokes worse I know than the fallacy below. Crack a leg and I'll fashion a list. Show me the wood, show me the wood below. It's only wood, it's only wood below. Show me the wood, show me the wood below. It's only wood, it's only wood below. Read between the lines, find grace beneath the pines. Get through this ride in time. Some say I settle for nothing less than big love. Well, that's true, I suppose. But no, I don't want to let every kiss in my mist make its way down to my toes. Feel back up, I gaze at the wood, count the circles turning to stone. Their fingers can feel them, they just cover bone. And this life ain't worth living if you do it alone. Show me the wood, show me the wood below. It's only wood, it's only wood below. Show me the wood, show me the wood below. It's only wood, it's only wood below. Read between the lines, find grace beneath the pines. Get through this ride in time.
That was awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hello, I'm Jonathan Clegg. Welcome to the ATX Music Talent Artist Showcase of Anna Mare. Anna is a compelling songwriter based out of Austin, Texas. She blends Americana with self-proclaimed folk noir, and she has a very haunting, beautiful Celtic style storytelling to her music. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. We just filmed her set. Usually we do it the opposite. And she killed it. Beautiful voice, effortless. You were saying you write songs that are hard for you to sing, but it sure doesn't sound like it. You just have such a powerful, is it the way your voice resonates? Is that where you get the Celtic part from? Does that make sense? Or Celtic? Am I saying?
Celtic.
We just had the NBA. My brother's a Celtics fan. So I just got back from Key West, and he wore the Celtics hat every day. And
Fair. I say Celtic.
It's Celtic.
But I'm curious because I haven't thought to ask where the difference is officially. But I've always said Celtic. The Celtic is more just, there's a lot of a lot of my musical inspiration and history comes from old kind of Irish Scots music and balladry and certain other artists that were inspired by that. And so I have a lot of songwriting that comes out of that, a lot of the like kind of old school storytelling kind of aspects, I think are all pull from that. But I kind of have two different sections of my music, and so, well, I've probably three really, but the folk noir is a little bit more kind of like Southern Gothic writing and stuff, and then I have my more kind of like folk that it pulls from the Celtic kind of background, as well as old American folk, and then I have my kind of like more like folk rock / maybe Americana kind of stuff. Yeah.
And I've heard you mention before that your songs kind of you lean towards the darker
I do.
side. Is that you as an artist come through? How much does your voice, the way you sound, how much does that dictate what you write, do you think? Because it's interesting because your voice is so haunting in like the best way possible, but it's just that very old style, and we can bring up your background, the European old world sound.
Yeah.
That's just so effortless and powerful, but really lends to the darker side of the storytelling.
Thank you. I think in terms of I write lyrics first. So in terms of the way that the story is written, most of the time I write lyrics first. As time goes on, I've been writing more songs where they're paired together. But I think what happens is I write things with an intonation in mind or a style of music, and when I go to add the melody and arrange it, that's when the vocal part comes in, because based on how I like to sing and what my voice does, it kind of changes where I'll hold chords or pull back on chords or add space or not. I also like to kind of write songs with the intention to fill them with other things behind it. So there's a lot of space in some of my songs when I'm singing them by myself, because they're supposed to be filled with other things that are in my head, but I haven't yet had a chance to put in there yet. So there's, in terms of, I would say vocally, arrangement is where that starts to make an adjustment to the song. So.
You've done a lot of podcasts lately, it seems like. So I don't want to like burn you out with talking about your life, but it's your story I thought was very therapeutic to hear you talk about how you had made the leap into music because you were on a very different path. I'll let you explain that as much as you want, but listening to you describe the feeling you had when you made the decision, I just thought like, man, there's so many other musicians out there that need to hear this story and know that it's okay for them to take that leap, because that's the way you described it on, I believe it was the Austin Downbeat, another podcast. The way you just described that, I thought was really well done and really hit the mark with me emotionally. So I was like, I'm not going to bring up your past because you talk about it a lot lately, but for those of my viewers who don't know anything about you, do you want to just explain a little bit about your history?
Sure, yeah. Well, I got a little bit of my kind of family background is I grew up with a American mother, Australian father, and we got moved all over growing up. So I got kind of thrown into multicultural scenarios from a young age. I went through a lot of culture shock over and over and over again, and then continued to move all through my adult life. So the movement part has always been more natural than the staying part because of that. So a lot of my writing, a lot of my personal kind of growth walls and boundaries that I'm trying to break through have to do with that sense of belonging and home. I was a bartender for about 15 years because I didn't really know what else I wanted to do. I loved it. I was around people. I got to meet, stay active, be around humans all the time, and eat good food and drink good drinks for all of my 20s. So that was awesome. And then I sold whiskey for a living for a while. But the whole time I was doing all of that, I had always wanted to go into medicine since I was a kid. It was kind of something that was in my family. There was also a part of me that for a really long time held on to this pressure that I needed to do that because I knew I'd be good at it, and when I did it, I could prove to myself that I could do it. And there was this proving the smarts. I think there's a little. I grew up in my mother's side of the family, who I mostly grew up around, are they're from New York. It's a big family, very smart. A lot of them, even if they may not have checked off a lot of boxes of accomplishments, there's a certain level, which I think comes a lot with a lot of New Yorkers, honestly. It's there's this level of you should be here, in this kind of upper middle class kind of thing where like there's certain jobs you should look out for, there's certain things, and none of them ever pushed that onto me, but there was this kind of culture of understanding there, and I kind of inherited that feeling and put it on myself. So I was like, I need to be a doctor. Nobody told me I had to, but I just felt like I was supposed to.
Yeah, when you have an intellect and show smarts, there's a lot of pressure to do something
To
like,
use it, yeah.
there's potential here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do you know what your IQ is? You like, and okay. And so I kind of had that, and I honestly, I love the sciences. I love medicine. I would have really enjoyed it, but by the time I finally got into it, I was in my early 30s, and I realized I had this when COVID hit. I was in the middle of like finishing my MCATs and trying to get into college, and I had like a ton of whiteboards hanging everywhere all around me, like an insane amount. There was one that was like the length of a king size bed, and it was nuts. And I remember sitting there one day and looking all of them and being like, this is insane. Like you don't need to do this to be happy. And it was just this weird pressure I had been holding since I think I was probably younger than 10 years old. And in one day, it just kind of was like, went away. And it was just like, you don't need to do this. You can do something else, whatever it is, just do that. And so I was just like, nope, don't want to do this. Don't want to do medicine. And had nothing to do with the COVID stuff. You know, it was just kind of that time, that stress and pressure. And once that fell off, it just opened up this vacuum of like space. And it took me about 2 years to figure out that I wanted to do music. And so I kind of just took some jobs to make some money. I tried a bunch of different things. I didn't put pressure on myself to choose anything until I was ready. And then it kind of bubbled up to the surface very unexpectedly. And when I finally said it out loud, it was just this like calm, like the sense of peace, like not, I have to do this or I need to do this, or it just kind of was like, yeah, it just felt really easy. And like, there wasn't another choice. And that's how I knew it was the right choice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I feel really lucky that that happened. And I grew up in my mom's a musician. I grew up around music, so it was always present. So it makes sense that it came up as an option. But I had always very much shied away from it because I didn't want to.
Seeing her struggles.
Yeah. I didn't want to have to rely on anybody.
Did you guys sing together? Does she sound
A
like
bit.
you at all?
No. We don't sound the same at all. She's got a very kind of soft, smoky, jazzy voice. Not smoky the way that mine's not smoky, but there's a darkness that you could kind of cross-relate with smokiness. Hers is like this different. It's so different.
Did she encourage your singing?
Oh yeah, I think so. It was around, and like there was a couple like old folk tunes we'd sing in the car together, and she tried to teach us to harmonize a little bit. I'm still terrible at harmonizing. I'm getting better, but it was around, and I grew up around a lot of really good music and a lot of really great musicians, and so I got spoiled in that aspect. But and then I just kind of on my own, I joined choir, I did musicals, I did other things, but that was all kind of my own choice. My mom was more or less just like, yeah, sure. She supported it. It was never really pushed. Yeah.
Well, I was lucky enough to see you at the White Horse solo set, and then you performed with the band the following evening, and I thought it was pretty cool that you had written songs specifically for the show, and I'm wearing one of your shirts.
Yeah.
Wearing through it. I don't know if you can see it, but this was a song.
Yeah.
Wanna, don't you?
Oh, honey, wanna, don't
Oh,
ya?
honey, don't you?
Yeah.
And you just wrote that for the show, right?
I did. I got hired at the White Horse. I had been pushing to get a band gig there for a year and a half, or probably about a year. And it just took, the show happened about a year and a half after I first started reaching out to them. And I had done a solo set before, so they had heard my music. And then I was like, all right, band gig. I don't think I fully realized that all the shows were two-step shows, but then we got hired for the Saturday night show. And I asked the booker, I was like, well, do you want me to do my original music? Dark, folky, whatever, or like some inspiration from stuff, but not enough to like, or I was like, or do you want me to do upbeat covers? And he goes, do all your upbeat originals. And I was like, shit, like I don't have those. So I have some, but a lot of them have stops and slowdowns and all this kind of weird stuff that dancers won't align with. So I rearranged some things in some of my songs to make it work for that night. And then I wrote some tunes, and I had a lot of fun kind of coming up with new songs. And none of the new songs I came up with were honky-tonk songs, but they were all dance songs. And a lot of them pulled from like New Orleans jazz and old like 40s, 50s kind of style, but with a modern edge. And that's one of them. That one's like more technically like a blues song.
Okay.
And yeah, I was writing it and I was like, oh honey, don't you wanna is how you would say something, but I had everything rhyming with don't you, so I was like, well, we'll just switch the words around, and that's how that came out that weird way.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering when you said you were gonna. For those of you who don't know, the White Horse is an iconic Austin honky tonk. If you have friends coming to Austin, or if you are new to Austin and want to check out old Austin and get a vibe for what the musical aura of Austin, there's old school band type. It's country-esque honky tonk for people to dance.
Yeah,
Dance to, and people come out, they dress up, they dance, they have a lot of fun.
It's a
Highly
fun place.
recommend that spot. But
Yeah.
as you'll see in the set, your songs don't necessarily lend themselves to the White Horse, the
No.
two-step dancing. So I was
No.
wondering how that was gonna go. And when you said you were playing with a band, I wasn't sure it was just the band accompanying you with your
Right,
song. So I thought
right.
that was cool that you said you came up with a song. So I look forward to
So-
seeing the band. Do you have any shows coming up soon? I guess you shouldn't promote them here because it probably won't be out for 6
Oh,
months.
true,
But
true. Well,
but you never know.
We will. I'm sure by the time this comes out, I'll have something. But I always put everything on my website, so that's
I'll
that's
have
the
all
way
that
to know.
information.
Cool. Yeah. I kind of found a way around, not a way around, but it was kind of by accident. But I used to live in North Carolina for 4 years. I went last summer to play some gigs, and then I got kind of stuck there. And then gigs started showing up, and then I started playing with a band, and then the band got a sound of its own. It was all with my original music, but my stuff that I couldn't really do solo. And then I gave the band a name, which is Damn Sam.
Are they North Carolina?
Mm-hmm. They're in North Carolina.
I meant to bring that up because you're here, based out of here, but you are back and forth
Yes.
pretty frequently.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you to compare the two music scenes.
Oh, yeah.
And if there's any standout differences
Sure.
or anything you could help any other aspiring musicians or.
Yeah. I basically make loops between here and Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and I usually go via Houston, New Orleans, sometimes Columbus, Mississippi.
You drive.
I drive a lot. I fly sometimes, and then I'll also try to do the route where I go through like Nashville and then back down on the more northern route, back down to Austin. And so I'm trying to build up that whole area, and I want to book more smaller towns and make those routes, more saturated too. But yeah, the band Damn Sam, when I finally realized that that's kind of like my upbeat style of music, that means I could funnel all of these kind of fun songs into anything that's called Damn Sam. So now whenever I do a Damn Sam show, like Anna Mare and Damn Sam, it's that White Horse stuff. It's more festivally. The band up there, we have I call it folk noir with 3 shots of whiskey. So it's my music plus the band, but they've got a little bit more of like a little bit jam bandy, Grateful Dead kind of thing going on, mixed with like Jefferson Airplane or Graham Parsons or something, kind of all like thrown in together. This one was a bit more catered to the White Horse, and it was really fun to do. But if you see that name, it's going to be more of that style of stuff, basically.
What area do you think has a healthier music scene? I mean, can you even say? Can you?
I can. So they're very different. Austin is a city that is driven by music. The tourism market relies on music, and so there are so many musicians that live here, to session here, to work here, to record here, to connect here. There's also a ton of programming from the city of Austin and in Texas to support musicians, which is awesome. Things like HAM and the Cultural Arts Development Center for the grants that they give.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, Anna is a recipient of 2024 Austin Live Music Fund to make an album. That's awesome. Those
Thank you.
Feel pretty amazing that the city was like, "Hey, you're good enough. We're gonna
Thank you. Yeah.
get you to make an album." How's that going?
I haven't started yet. By the time this comes out, I will have. But I've been waiting for the right thing to use it.
How was that confidence boost?
What's that?
Was it a confidence boost? Did it? I know you just been doing this for only a couple years.
Yeah.
Did it really settle you down a little bit and think like this is something you can actually do when you're getting grants to make music? I mean, that's pretty special.
It helps. Like, I keep thinking, oh my God, I have to get a job. I don't have an apartment yet. Like, I can't afford living in Austin really officially. Like, I'm here. I reside here, but I'm kind of like, I have friends helping me out and stuff. And so it's really hard to live here. because it's so expensive, the things like the grants and the ham for musicians' health insurance and those things make it viable enough that I can, like, I'm right on the line of having to, like, pick up a full-time job to be able to make it work. But these things coming in are helping that not happen yet and allowing me to put my full focus into it, which is really important. It's weird. It should be a confidence boost. It's not that it's not. I don't really think, I guess I'm super grateful for it, and it's an amazing thing. And I kind of just like, and I didn't expect it. I don't think I deserve it over anybody else who got it or didn't get it. I'm just like, well, that's awesome. That's kind of just, it's like, I'm grateful and that's, that's it. That's kind of like how I, but not in a, I'm not like, yay, I'm great, or like, it's that grant was a lot of work. I think I spent like an 80-hour work week submitting for it. Like, I spent 10 hours a day for like 8 days straight to do it. And it's like, it was a lot of work, but those things are worth that time if you put it in, I think. So, so that's exciting. And I will have something, things will start happening by early mid next year. There'll be things that will start to get released and everything. So I'm just kind of, I'm in the planning mode right now. So I was late to start planning, so I'm a little behind where I expected. But
you seem like you're like pretty business oriented, business side of music.
I'm trying.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're doing everything yourself for the most part. Every time I ask somebody if they have a booking agent or any promoters that they want to recommend or talk shit about or say good things about in Austin, most people are like, I do it all myself.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for people out there trying to do what you did? Like, should they be picking up the business? Because it is a business.
It is a business. It's, yes, do that. One of the other nonprofit programming I'm involved in is I got into the A&R Foundation is a local nonprofit, and they have, it's called their Music Business Accelerator Program. So I got into that. I'm about halfway through it. It's like a every Sunday thing, and that's also completely, free once you get in. And so I've been doing business courses every Sunday. When I decided to jump into music, kind of that, what we were talking about like not wanting to rely on people and wanting to make sure I could do this, not having to struggle. Well, I'm definitely having to rely on people more than I ever have in my life. And once I realized, I was like, you just have to be okay with it because you don't survive in this industry without help. Patronage is just as, if not more so, as important now as it was, 500 years ago when they were writing about it, or longer. In terms of wanting to make sure that like I didn't, I could make this work, my kind of intention was make sure I'm always doing the things I love and I'm passionate about, but do it the right way, do it the business way. And I am not a financially driven person. I'm terrible at numbers. My ADHD just is like, put that in the closet and never look at it again. I'm trying really hard to change that, because you can't get business loans, you can't get, so I have my LLC set up. I'm working with an accountant. I use like another local nonprofit is Texas Accountants and Lawyers for the Arts. You can get accounting and lawyers for free to help you set up your stuff to make sure it's all legitimate. And through those things and like the foundation program, I'm learning everything I need to do. It's really slow and it's a pain in the butt and I hate doing it, but I know that it's the right thing to do and it's going to get me in a position where I can take care of myself doing this, Yeah,
I was kind of shocked to hear from other artists that venues out here, as much as they tote the capital, music live capital of the world, that people are getting kind of dicked around, lack of a better word, with venues. They're not always paying what they promise. Or is there a lot of that going on? Is that something that, like, do you get guaranteed pay that doesn't happen? Or is it pretty stable?
I haven't actually played a lot of venues in Austin. It's been a hard go of it to get gigs. Everywhere I've played has been good to me. I haven't had a problem anywhere. A lot of they're not all of them have a lot to offer, but they've given me what they've promised, I would say. So the guarantees are low. It's hard, sometimes you're asked to do a 3-hour gig solo, well, which is really hard on your vocals. And then you do that 3 or 4 days a week, you can't sing. Like it's really, and people expect that of you. And when you're a solo singer-songwriter, unless you're like a guitar whiz that can fill in all that space, you're kind of screwed. So that stuff's really hard. And I'm trying not to take those gigs and instead use that time, because it's half your day. It's usually like a full work day to go do a gig. It doesn't seem like it maybe to the venues all the time, but they're like, oh, you just show up for 3 hours and you do whatever you want. Well, no, there's a whole process of getting ready, loading in, making sure your stuff's together, doing the gig, winding down, blah, blah. So,
yeah, a week of rehearsal just for a gig one time, it's a lot.
Well, I mean, this gig at the White Horse, which is a different story. I had a full band. It's a good paying gig. They take very good care of everybody. Everybody at that place is really nice too, and they do what they promise, But I wanted to do it well, so yeah, I had a bunch of rehearsals leading up to it, because we had a bunch of new material too. So there is, I'm blanking on the name of it, but there's a local organization called Austin Music Love, and they have what's the word? They have
like a glass door for venues that like anonymously people can.
Yes. You basically it's a.
Is that where you're going with it?
Yeah, I have never used Glassdoor, so I was like maybe but yes, it's a online kind of I'm forgetting a very simple word right now, but
Forum?
Forum. Yeah, it's
Shout out to Awesome Music Love. Sorry, we've literally brought that dude up.
Oh, cool.
Johnny Fantana.
Yeah.
Like every show, he's supposed to be my last guest.
Oh, that's awesome.
He doesn't want to perform, but I was like, man, that's how I found you. I discovered you through him.
Oh, that's right.
Through the audition tapes. Because I did my first show with Kelsey Creek, and then I was like, I don't know anybody else. I was at the gym.
Yeah.
And I saw your audition tape, and the minute I heard your voice start resonating, I told you this before at the White Horse. I was like, I didn't even finish listening to the song. I knew right away that I was like, this person would be perfect for this. So I understand why you want a grant and why you probably will be going places if you stick to it, because your voice is that good.
I feel really lucky because there's a certain amount of your voice that you that you have control over, and there's a certain amount that you don't. You're given a certain stock that you can grow and make better, or you have other things. I've gotten better. With my guitar playing, I'm kind of like, I can do a couple things. I've gotten comfortable enough that I can do those things well, but my wheelhouse in that respect is really small. And there's a lot of different styles of singing that I wish I could do better, but I can't. And so it's like you're kind of, you still have this box you're working within. And I also haven't been performing on stage as I think when I decided to do this, like I would say 3 years ago, I had one song memorized for the stage, and I could barely play my chords without. I have some old YouTube videos on the very bottom of my live singles thing on YouTube. Mm-hmm. That's my first time getting up at the open mic at the Mucky Duck in Houston, and I listen to them. I'm like, oh God, because it's so, which is great because it shows growth, and that's important. That's why I've never taken them down. But it, while I super appreciate that my voice carries to people and that it means something to them, I also am like, well, that's only one part of a whole, and it is, I am grateful because it does a lot of work for me, and I have to work with it to make sure it's taken care of. I also have vocal strain, so it's a whole problem sometimes using it. It doesn't always work. I lose it a lot very easily. Something happened during COVID that messed with my voice, and I never really got it back properly. So that part's frustrating. But this job is a very multi-tier job, and you're always there's always gonna be some things you're really good at and some things you're not good at. And if you do hard enough work in some of the other areas, I think that you can balance those things out. I don't have a long background of music or connections. I came into the industry pretty much connectionless 3 years ago, or less than 3 years ago. And there's other people who have been doing this for 20 years. I might have a slightly better voice, but they have better guitar skills or better business acumen or so you're just trying to figure out your cheat sheet and code, I think. And as long as I think you don't be a dick, you know, show up and do the job you promised to yourself and to others, and then like just keep working at it. That'll get you, I think, a decent amount of the way. And honestly, get your finances in order. It's a big deal.
And you performed at the Belgium Music
Yeah,
Festival?
yeah.
So that's prestigious, not necessarily prestigious, but
Very
beloved.
prestigious.
Very, okay,
I'm
very
just
prestigious,
yeah.
popular family festival in Scotland, right?
Mm-hmm. The Tartan Heart Festival.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
That was so much fun. Oh my God. Were you reading the post I did on Substack? Is that why?
I did not read
No,
it,
okay.
but
I was
knew
just curious.
that you had done it. And I want you to mention Substack too.
Yeah.
For those of you, because I know it's been around for a while, but a lot of people don't know about it. But do you think the Substack, how important has that been in your journey? I mean, has it met your expectations? I mean, I know it's what you put into it.
Yeah.
But has it been beneficial enough? It's something that I feel like all artists should be doing that.
So it depends on your how you operate creatively and how you like to put information out there. Substack, beyond everything else, is a writer's platform. If you don't like to write outside of the writing you do for your music, don't use Substack. That's that simple. It's the whole thing is geared towards writers. I am still debating if I'm using it the right way. The way I'm using it right now is I was debating between that and Patreon originally. Patreon has a lot of capabilities that Substack doesn't, but I got nervous about consistency of putting out stuff, and I didn't want to get subscribers and then not deliver what was promised, because I have ADHD and I go through waves, and I can't. Consistency for me is a really difficult thing.
It stopped me from doing it as well. 'Cause it's like, if you're going to offer something, it's like, oh,
yeah,
keep this up.
And the stress and the pressure. And then I would just not do any of it. I'd procrastinate it all. I'd let everybody down, and then I would hate everything. That's how that would work. So I was like, all right, let's take the pressure off. I've always been a writer way before I ever picked up a guitar. And I've had blogs in the past where I did poetry and song lyrics that didn't have melodies and blah, blah, and all that. And so I was like, well, this might be a really good platform to kind of have that Patreon idea, because you can do paid subscriptions on Substack, where you do, so the way Substack works, it's kind of like an online blog. So you do a post, it stays on the blog, it looks kind of like a blog. But if I go to a show and somebody writes their email address down on my email list, I import that into my Substack. They get a welcome email being like, hey, you're on the email list now. And every time I do a post on the blog, the Substack blog, it also goes to their email inbox. So I'm using Substack currently as a mix. Sometimes I call them song dives. I kind of delve into the history of a song, the lyrics. I'll try to put a video or a demo of the song in there. I'll explain the background of the song. A lot more information than you can ever do on social media. And then I'll send that out. Or sometimes I'll be like, this is what's happening over the next month, and that'll be like, these are the shows, this is what's exciting, or I was just in the studio and these things are happening. So, and sometimes it's just a poem, sometimes it's a weird coloring book I made when I was a kid and I just thought it was funny and I shared it.
You like what you're seeing and hearing after today's show? Follow her Substack, all the information.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's not spammy. At most I put out one a week, and it's free to subscribe, but you can also choose to put as much money as you want per month or year, or you can become like a founding member, which is like $300 a year, and you get free tickets to shows and stuff like that. So there's like a mix of things. I do kind of like unreleased demos through some of the paid subscription services and stuff. And to be completely transparent, so I started my Substack about a year ago. I finally, once I got my LLC, my business bank account, I attached that to my Substack, and I made paid subscriptions an option probably 2 months ago. And currently it generates me, as of like this week, I've got about $1,000 a year coming in. That's not bad for 2 months of like, it's not passive income officially. I'm still doing the job, but it's something I like to do. I like to use the writing thing. I like to have fun and talk and share.
And you never know, if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have it.
I wouldn't have it. Yeah. So that's like potentially a month's rent one day down the line, And so, it's fun because yeah. So there's all that. I've thought about doing Patreon. You don't want to do too many things at once.
Well, this is why
Yeah.
it's so hard, because today's day of age with technology, an artist could do everything themselves. But that's asking so much for you to do. It's asking you to be an accountant, be a business manager, yada, 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 right? But back in the day, all you had to do was be the artist, be the crazy, insane artist.
I
This is
know.
why I think, because we're able to do it, and you can, like, I can't find a manager, I can't find promotion, I'm going to do it myself. So there's no excuse, right? You can do it, but you get lost in, now you're not just focusing on the art, where you should just be writing your songs, living your life, performing. Now you got to worry about all the different aspects. And I know for a fact, I know how crazy that is and how distracting that can be. And so you're no longer focused on the art. So I think people should consider management, however that form that looks today's day and age. You know, it's got to be the right person, but it's just like, man, it'd be nice to not have to worry about all that stuff.
Well, and anybody who's in this kind of like independent musician category, niche, smaller, whatever, under X amount of followers, whatever it is, you're not going to get a manager unless you're properly paying them like a year's wage. Which, why would you do that? Because you need the money. You can't do that unless you already have money to just hire somebody just to give them cash, which none of us do really. I mean, some people do, but you can't. You don't. The unfortunate catch-22 about booking agents and managers is that you have to basically have learned and have done all of those things first and have a handle on it and have it all showing before they'll even look at you. And so to get a booking agent, I basically have to have a beautiful spreadsheet that has all of my venues, all of my contacts, how much I make when I go there, how many people I got in the door, and I give that to a booking agent. I say, here's all the work I did, and I give it to them once they've decided that I'm worth it, because they're getting like 10% usually of what is guaranteed at the show or the ticket sales. So, and then they try to add to that. It's supposed to be a partnership. What you're doing is trying to use their connects to expand that or to make you look more official. Most of the venues I'm playing at right now don't care that I'm not a booking agent. But, you know, I'm really tired and I don't always want to book. And if there's somebody doing that for me, that'd be great. But nobody's going to pick me up yet because I'm not ready yet. So it's like maybe in a year or two, I might get
your AI agent.
Yeah, right.
Your AI manager is coming. Yeah. It's all coming.
But it's really, and the same with the manager, like all the things that a manager isn't going to look at you until they think you're going to make them some money. And I have to be making myself some money first, which means I have to have everything in order already before they even consider it. So it's like every once in a while on a blue moon, super duper rare, don't expect it, is the manager who just believes in you. But it's not like it was before. And anybody I talk to, like my family members who are a little bit older, my aunts and uncles and stuff, they're like, you just need to get a manager. I'm like, this is not the 70s anymore. It does not work like that. I was like, I wish, believe me, but like, and then one day I will. I will get there. But I kind of have to show them I basically have to give them, like, this is the book of Anna Mare, and it's all ready and complete to take to the next stage. It's almost like going with a business plan.
Yeah.
Like,
well, nowadays you find a manager, they probably are just using AI. So you might as well just do it yourself.
I mean, AI can be helpful. Yeah. It's a pain in the butt in so many ways, but helpful in others. Yeah.
Do you see yourself, if you can make it work out, staying in Austin?
I don't know. I mean, I like Austin. It takes really good care of me, and
Are we coming up to that 3.5 year mark yet, or don't you move every 3 years?
Every 3.5 years, yeah. Well, it's weird because I moved here like 2 years ago, but I haven't been here very much. Mm-hmm. I've been on the road almost the entire time, so I've probably only lived here for like 7 or 8 months, which is why I don't have that many gigs, and which is why it's taken me a long time to get into the scene. But I don't know. Austin is a great place. I really enjoy it. It doesn't feel like home to me, but I'm really grateful to it for now. It's a good place for me to be right now. I do better in slightly like I can't live in New Orleans again because it almost killed me in my liver. But I feel I like really gravitate towards places that feel like they have a depth of history and soul, and where I think that's something that I wish I was able to pick out a little bit more from here. It's a newer city. It's also like just, you know, it's clean and beautiful and put together. And I'm like, no, I know, where's my gritty, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
It's the longest I've been someplace. I've moved
Yeah.
around all besides my hometown, but I've always moved
yeah.
within a year and a half.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And COVID was so transformative in a positive way to so many people because you made life changing decisions. Like I moved out of California, came here.
Yeah.
You, whether it was directly related or not, you made a big life decision.
Yeah.
So like it's the whole world went through a transformative time during there, but a lot of positive and a lot of balls started rolling because of that. So
Texas is an interesting, like, it's a place that every year it grows on me. I came to Texas kicking and screaming.
yeah, never thought I'd be in this fucking place.
I never thought I'd be in Texas. I did not want to come here because I had an outsider's view of Texas, and I thought it was one way that I was very ignorant to. And I got here, and some of those things are true in certain places, but for the most part, it was full of like really wonderful people, and it's a really interesting state, and the history here is super interesting, and I like going out to Big Bend in those areas. Like I love it, just because there's things are just different here, and I do love that. That being said, I think like my soul feels most at peace in places that are like a little colder, misty, darker, bluish, blue tones.
It's way
right?
too hot here.
It's too hot.
It's way too hot.
It's too hot.
It's the ocean, but
I
Austin,
like big water. Yeah.
the artistic community is what keeps me here. The food.
Yeah.
Love the food here. And
that's
there's
right.
a lot of water here. I mean, I like when it's hot to make you want to get into the water.
Sure.
Back in California, it's beautiful, but it's not always super hot where you're like, oh, I'm going to go swimming now. So I kind of like that it forces you to get in the water. And I think you can do more in lakes than the ocean in Northern California, at least. I like it here. I don't know. I just took my daughter. We just filled up a kiddie pool for her yesterday, and has so many mosquito bites that's like, it was great. Oh, cool. Why don't we do this every day? And it's like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's why we don't do it every day, because you can't go outside here.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to like succumb to the bugs. But
it's hot. I'm about to go to Kerrville this weekend for the first time, and I'm a little nervous about the heat and like handling it. Okay, because I burn easy.
Yeah.
But I'm used to the heat. Like I was in New Orleans for 7 years, Houston for 4. I love the muggy heat. I know it's weird, but I'm like, give me 100% humidity any day. But the dry heat, I have a really hard time with. It's just, I feel like it's like sucking. I don't drink enough water. That's probably why. But yeah.
Houston, how's it? It's a lot different than here, right?
Houston and New Orleans are like the same, temperature wise.
Okay.
Humidity wise.
What about the culture wise? Like Houston.
There's a lot of similarities too.
Yeah.
Houston has a lot of New Orleanians in it. They're both port cities. They both kind of came up around the same time. Well, I mean, it was at the turn of the century. Houston, Galveston, and New Orleans were all like equal-sized port cities that were all vying for the same business. Galveston got decimated by a hurricane. Houston basically mix of oil, and then decided to lower its prices on incoming ships, and then it started to boom basically. But culturally, I mean, they're both swamp cities. They're both humid as hell. They're both port cities. The Texas history playing into Houston's kind of growth and how it did it is different from New Orleans. And New Orleans was definitely like the black sheep of the two, for all the reasons that we probably know. But there's a lot of similarities. Houston's also just like, New Orleans is a really international city, but it's very small. And Houston is a super multicultural city. The food there is incredible. It's some of the best food in the country, I think. It's just not really advertised very much, but it's really good. And I don't know. Houston's Houston is sprawly. I don't like anything outside of the loop or like going on the highways. It sucks. But once you're in the loop and you're going around into the smaller,
Was it music happening there?
Yes, there is a lot of music of different styles. The problem with Houston is the music scene, and I guess I realized I didn't really answer your North Carolina question, but about that. But the problem with Houston is the music scene is because it's so sprawled out and because it's so multicultural. That means instead of being in a place like New Orleans, which is like jazz and blues and swamp pop and stuff, like small amount of music, lots of access, and people there all want to go listen to that same stuff. You get to Houston, you might have one style of music. Yeah, I'm
Got
a
it.
folk musician, and somebody has to travel.
Yeah.
45
People probably
minutes.
migrate up here.
Yeah, yeah. They like it's really hard to get people to come out to certain kinds of music because there's so many different kinds of music and there's so many different kinds of people, which is awesome, except for when you're trying to sell tickets.
Yeah.
and it takes a while to drive.
Well, Austin needs to do. I know you mentioned that there's a lot of foundations here, but Austin really needs to get into gear and help keeping musicians like yourself thriving out here, because everything that we love about this city is going to leave. And, you know, it's just getting so much more expensive.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, you see Rainy Street, you see all these places that were iconic that are just high rises. And it's like, you know, how can it, I mean, it's so hard to live here. How does an artist do it? And it's like all the things we love about the city are going to change. People really should be paying their artists more. Artists should be looked up. It's just like people think that it's like a dime a dozen, like, oh, so many people want to play here. You're lucky, so we're going to screw you. And it really should be like artists should be getting paid, you know.
Well, there's some people that are advocating for like a living wage for musicians, and they're making some headway. I don't really know too much about how it's working, but there are people pushing for that. There are local things like foundation communities that have apartment buildings for like low income, but that's for kind of anybody, not just musicians. I'm kind of like trying to get on one of those lists right now. But
Did you get any sleep I can't even imagine living in an apartment complex where it's all musicians.
well, it's all low income housing. It's not just musicians, but I haven't toured one of them yet. I'm going to, because it might be the only thing I can afford in town. I'm a little nervous that I won't because I've been into plenty of low income housing communities, and it's not like there's nothing like wrong with the apartments. It's just like the hallways like stink like cigarettes sometimes or stuff like that, and like I hate cigarette smoke or like things like that where you're just like, or might get really loud or like, and you're trying to sleep or like random hours, and all that's like doable and it's fine. But it'd be really nice if I felt like I was thriving and not surviving.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So I've been trying to figure out ways to be creative to be able to live here, like whether I get a trailer and put it in somebody's backyard or something like that. But because there's some nice trailers out there, way nicer than the apartment complex.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I all I want is like a little bungalow I can like live in. That's all I need. But it's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So I know that there's a lot of advocacy, or there's some that I've seen. And I feel like I don't know enough about the city that if I've seen a lot of it, that it means there should be a lot of it, hopefully. But maybe I've just cued into the couple things that do exist. But I do know that it's really that, you know, I talk to musicians all the time. They're like, all my money goes towards housing. I don't have money to spend on like making merch or to like be able to pay my band the way I want to, or like, you know, there's, you know, band gigs, they want full bands, and every person is minimum $100 a musician. Which is fair, and they deserve to, you know, but nobody's paying $1,000 for a 5-piece band. So like, what usually happens? The singer or the lead man usually loses money, and they do all their solo gigs to try to make the money to then pay the band. Yeah, and it's like that's I think that's bullshit.
Back home, we were playing 6-piece band. They wanted you to play for 3 hours, like you were mentioning. Yeah. Here's $150 for 6 people for 3 hours. It's like, cool. Here's everyone's $16.50. Like, it's not. And then oh yeah, we'll give you a beer. But then after, it's like, oh my god, at least give us the beer. But yeah, it's terrible. So hopefully we can combat some of that. Hopefully people will see this and subscribe to her Substack. Again, I'll have all the information, all your social media. You don't have to go over it. I'll have it all up on the screen, and hopefully get you some.
Thanks.
Some recognition, some new followers. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Like I mentioned before, you were the second person I asked. Now this is going to be my 7th or 8th show.
Yeah, and congrats too, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was beautiful. I can't wait for you to see her set. Lovely set. And stay tuned for more from Anna Mare. Did I say it right?
You said it right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you.
I really look forward to see what future holds for you.
Thank you.
I believe in it. That's going to be something special. So.
Hell yeah. That's 2 of us.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to say before?
I almost said something really. No, never mind. You don't want to hear what's in my brain.
Say some crazy shit. Let's do it. This is the time.
I know, right? You're like,
fuck this shit.
I'm like, don't piss in the wind.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't piss in the wind, everybody.
That's a metaphor.
It's a lesson I have to learn over and over again.
I never had to learn that lesson, actually.
Try standing up a little bit more.
Well, on that note.
Yeah, there you go. Time pee break. Saltivito.com. Check it out.
Yeah.
There's a lot I wanted to ask you about, but I forgot.
That's okay. That's all right. That was fun. Thanks.
Oh, are there any artists out here that you enjoy going out and see? Is there anybody you want
Yeah.
to plug
Yeah. Oh, man.
that inspires you?
Yeah.
That isn't necessarily a friend, but I always mean to ask people on the show like what venues they enjoy going to. Some artists don't get to see anybody play.
Yeah, fair.
So focus on themselves.
In terms, okay, so venues, the places I like to go, for dancing, Whitehorse for sure. And Sam's Town Point. I love Sam's.
Okay, thank you. I was just so
yeah.
knew where I live.
Right next to Sam's.
1 block.
Right? Yeah, cool.
From Sam's Point. I had to try to tell people because I always hear music coming from the house, and
Oh,
we
you're
thought
that
it was
close.
the
Cool.
Armadillo Den, and we thought it was Moon Tower. And I just had a block party, not a block party, but my neighbors had a party,
Yeah.
and none of them knew about it. I was like, this is the one place you can walk to
Yeah.
from our house. It's so cool. It's so cool. There was a vibe there. It was old school Austin, like the White Horse.
Cool.
Great music. The band members from Kill Tony were there.
Oh, cool.
And all the acts I've ever seen there
Yeah.
have been top notch.
Cool.
And so, yeah, Sam's Town Point.
Sam's Town Point. I love going there. I go to the Saxon Pub a lot.
Okay, yep.
I like going.
First place I went to in Austin.
I like going to see the Resentments on Sundays. I go to see Pat Byrne on Mondays. It's been really awesome to watch him grow. He's doing an incredible job, and I love his music. There's a bunch of other residencies at the Saxon Pub that are all amazing.
And so Guy?
Forsyth? I do know Guy. I haven't seen him at the Saxon.
He killed this show.
Oh,
That's the one
cool.
I'm coming out next.
Hell yeah.
He did a phenomenal job.
great.
And he was a great. He had a great conversation. Had a lot to talk about, as you
Oh,
can
yeah.
imagine if you know him.
Yeah.
He's quite the showman.
He's really cool. I've met him a couple times. We don't know each other super well, but I go also to the gospel brunch at El Mercado South.
I've heard about
on
that.
Sundays. It's 11:30 to 1:30, and it's like
Oh yeah, that's what he does that.
yeah, he gets up
Yeah.
there sometimes. It's every time I go, I have a great time.
And what's that again? The gospel brunch.
So Sundays at El Mercado South, that's on South First Street, from 11:30 to 1:30. They're called the Purgatory Players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people have drinks there and stuff too,
Yeah,
right? It's
there's
not like us.
food, drinks. It's like kind of a sit-down restaurant thing. There's the proper restaurant, and then there's this back-of-house like venue restaurant, and you can go eat and have mimosas and listen. And they're just they're really good musicians that all trade off songs, and they do an awesome job. It's kind of similar to what the Resentments do at the Saxon on Sunday nights. There's also like Ula at the Saxon, which is the Irish kind of Irish band on Sundays. And then I also love going to the Continental Gallery.
Mm-hmm.
I love going to see David Jimenez play on Fridays. He's amazing. So guitarist-wise, Jimenez is incredible. And then if you like Kat Clyde from White Denim, they're really fun to watch also. And then I would say like in terms of kind of more singer-songwriter focused, a couple of the people that I just really love their music. So aside from Pat, I would say like Shayna Sands. She's got this beautiful like old kind of like however much you think I might be derived from Leonard Cohen, she's like even more so. And she's a great guitarist. My friend Nicole Ridgewell, she's a fiddle player, but she also has her own band she played on Saturday.
Nicole gave me access to her album. I listened to it at the gym, and
it's fun.
I hit her up. I loved it. I loved the album. It was cool.
She's gritty. She gives no shits, but she like busts her ass. And her band is called Cast Iron Shoes. She plays at Hole in the Wall once a month as a residency.
Okay, yeah, she was dope.
Yeah, she's great. I have a list of musicians that I would happily give out of people that I think are just really wonderful and deserve people to go pay for their shows. And honestly, like that, one of the songs I did tonight is called "The Beating Heart of Nowhere," and the guy I wrote it with, Terry Klein, he hosts a residency at New World Deli, and I love his music. he's kind of in that James McMurtry, darker, kind of rolling lyrics kind of world, and I really love that stuff. So,
Yeah, I meant to ask you about Mick Flannery and Jeff Plankenhorn.
Yeah.
I can never say it.
Oh, were you looking at the co-writes or whatever?
I just said it had brought up that you had worked with.
Yeah, so
That's pretty cool.
Jeff and I have started working on a couple songs together. And then Mick Flannery and I love Mick Flannery. We have a song that we kind of started, and I need to finish it.
Mick Flannery is the first Irish person who won Nashville Songwriting Contest or
Oh yeah,
something. He's like the first international person to
cool.
achieve that. I don't really know what that means, but
He's an Irish singer-songwriter who just
he's 3 number ones in Ireland.
Yeah,
3 number 1 albums.
He's amazing and just very. I don't know how to describe him, but he's awesome. Go listen to him.
And Plankenhorn. He created his own steel guitar.
Mm-hmm. The plank.
He won a 2017 Austin Award for
He's apparently
innovation.
He's starting to go by J Plank now.
Okay,
apparently,
J-Plank,
so that
I
helps.
did see
If that
that.
helps, yeah.
J Plank, J Clegg. I'm looking at you, Jeff. Hey, Jeffrey's my middle name. Have you on the show, baby? Yeah. Well, I guess with that said, we have a lot to talk about. We can have a second show. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I would
But yeah,
love that.
again, best luck, and can't wait to see you out there
Thank
doing
you.
it.
Thanks so much.
All right. My name is Anna Mare, and this song is called The Beating Heart of Nowhere. It's a song that I wrote with Terry Klein, who's a local singer-songwriter, and we wrote it about the concept of what it means to feel at home. I grew up getting moved all around the world and getting thrown into kind of different cultural scenarios, and he grew up in a multi-religious household, and so the song kind of came out of it, trying to conceptualize what it really means to feel like you belong. So. They say country begins with your mother and father, but I'm not so sure about that. You can lay on a path that was forged by another and pray that it was built to last. Into the beating heart of nowhere I find there's nobody home, and if I could head into the beating heart of somewhere where I can know and be known, that's home. Like the better wind move through the dunes to the sea, so we migrate through stations and dives with the blood of the nomads from antiquity. We forsake any scent of goodbye. Into the beating heart of nowhere I find there's nobody home, and if I could head into the beating heart of somewhere where I can know and be known, that's home, that's home. That's home, that's home. Crumble like a marble, they're rocking inside your brain. They knocked the words outside the heart that almost was awake. Leaves fall fast like lovers, most will never know. You wobble, wincing, guilty dog, trailing me behind, face turned towards the weary path that's safer with your spine. And the sun somehow beats stronger than honest words did flow. Yes, I could have kissed you, lover. Did you notice the kind wind? But it's always on the softest days the men divulge their sins. And I told you not to worry, and I didn't let my head hang low. The arrow dropped beside you, forsaken by the sinews that would not curve above. And I smiled with the windows down, waiting for the first snow. Yes, I could have kissed you, lover. Did you notice that kind wind? But it's always on the softest days that men divulge their sins. And I told you not to worry, and I didn't let my head hang low. The arrow dropped beside you, forsaken by the sinews that would not curve the bow. And I smiled with the windows down, waiting for the first snow. Okay, so this song is called Carlton Motor Lodge Room 129, because that's the name of the motel room I wrote it in. I was visiting Los Angeles, and my uncle, his house was full, so he put me up in this motel, and I was staying there, and it was a really old school little place, and I was having kind of a hard day, and I decided to kind of write a song about depression, about mental health, about how, like, you kind of make it through to you can still make it through to the lighter side even if you're kind of in a darker place. And so this is kind of just for anybody who battles with depression or anything along those lines. So it's kind of my hug I try to give musically. So here we go. Trying to find the quiet in this hollow hotel room, but the spigot keeps on dripping, and each drop is a typhoon, and the madness quickly deepens as this body drinks the heat. Try to sink below the surface, hide my head below my feet, when all you hear is heartbeats, love is thunder, hate will crash. Can you sense how the silence makes a tender tear and slash? choices make our stories, slight changes shift our spines. When the night comes, darling, do not weep. Weigh your pain, give it all to me. The dark is love and it can free. The dark is love and it can free. See you in the shadows, stewing softly in the air. Will you stay with me till morning? Are we too far gone to care? Blood is death and blood is life. Feast waits now at your door. If it knocks, will you answer? But who are you answering for? When the night comes, darling, do not weep. Weigh your pain, give it all to me. The dark is love and it can free. The dark is love and it can free. The dark is love and it can free.
Woo!
This song is called Heavy Focus, and it's just a long distance relationship song and a love song. I have a heavy focus on you. Eyes grown soft, new sprouted view. Haven't played your weary passenger yet, but I've chosen the tunes and I've tasted your sweat. It's a new way for me, this letting go. What autumn's rust brings, we cannot know. Now you say you'll be here when I return. Oh, losing control takes a lifetime to learn. Oh, the shadows, we've all got 'em. Mothers hurt and trees collect 'em. Will you grow or will you free 'em? When my gather, can you hold 'em as they gather? Can you light 'em? Bag 'em up, set fire to 'em. On our last night I stayed awake in the rain, crept under the covers where our bodies had trained. On the roads now the creases beside her eyes. Bite my shoulder, baby, while you shyly smile. There's no warning, darling, you've taken no lease. What the farm would purchase, this one frees. Now red threads hang heavy round our weary heads, letting go of control in faraway beds. Oh, the shadows, we've all got 'em. Mothers hurt and trees collect 'em. Will you grow or will you free
song.
Thanks.
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
I remember that when you played it at the White Horse, right?
Oh, that's right, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.